of dynamic that
just putting it in different locations. Not like
no,
no, I wouldn't ask. I agree, but I mean, I think that you're going to get him the follow-up stuff like today.
Yeah, we'll try giving that stuff today, but it will take them those few days to integrate the.
Few weeks. Well, no, but it's.
Integrate, test, push, and then it has to gather the data.
It will take.
I think one step at a time. I would just get him the stuff as soon as you can.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I think if there's good momentum, get him the stuff. Tonight. He looks at it tomorrow, or he gets back to you. Like it's cool. Then at some point you could approach it Sunday. But I don't know. It feels
Tuesday morning. Hey, Jack, we're about to go on stage.
We have your logo on that desk.
Okay, let's jump in. By the way, can I just change your name to Gil? Apparently, I'm using.
I'm
Every time I talk to you, it's face to face. It's Guy. The second I get in front of a room, it becomes Gil.
Because Gil was here. That's completely.
Oh, maybe. I also confused Gil with the other investor. I introduced him to. I said, oh, he's like a large VC fund. In Israel, and he goes, no, that's the other guy. So I said, disregard it. And he smiled. I think he smiled.
Gil would not mind that you tried it.
Yeah.
If someone thinks his idea is.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. It is now my pleasure to introduce Triggerhood.
Thank you, Andrew. So, Triggerhood. We're going to talk today about how we solve problems for mobile developers. So, mobile developers today spend $4 billion annually just to get users. They actually pay, so users will download their app and not use it at all. 5% of those users remain active. It means 95% of the investment just goes down the drain. So what do developers do with this product? They invest more money. They buy products. They buy products that helps them see what's going on inside their app. Products that tell them about usability. Products that basically don't help them solve the problem of how to get users active on their app. So we offer this line of code. Simple one line of code. And it's exactly this code. And you just plug it in your app and we start collecting data. Data that breaks the scope of using an app. We collect data about location, about other app users, about other things the user do with their device. We aggregate this data into this beautiful dashboard that helps the developer understand exactly where they're positioned and how they're being threatened by their customers. So if we think on a fictional app called Space Commuter, it's just a ride-sharing app. This app would benefit using our dashboard by saying that Lyft, the main competitor, is now gaining market share. We probably need to target Lyft customers as soon as possible. Because the dive down, so we see that Lyft is actually trending in the past 24 hours. Which means that Lyft is now their biggest driver and they need to retarget their marketing campaigns and optimize their budget to mitigate this. But we know that data is not enough. So we have a complementary solution to our dashboard that knows how to re-engage users by perfectly timing push notifications to their users by using data we collect, as you saw already on the dashboard, and it's completely automated. It's as simple as that one line of code. So let's think about a practical example. Again, Space Commuter, our fictional app. The right moment for that app to contact the user is right when they're about to do a daily commute. And probably when they're shopping around Lyft or Uber or other competitors. So we know how to identify this right moment at exact moment and approach that user with an offer that will re-engage them with Space Commuter as picture. Another example might be your favorite news app sending you a annoying push notification where you're in the middle of yoga. Instead of engaging with you, when you open your Starbucks app, you sit down on a coffee shop and you want to read content. This is the right moment, and we know that based on the data we collect. So So far, we onboarded 30 apps into our platform that collectively represent 100 million active users. We improved their retention threefold and increased their app open rate. And we also won an award back in Israel with the leading startup community, Best Startup Award. Our current team consists of 4 brilliant guys. We have guys that do all the algorithms, all the math, build the product, and sell it. So we are a self-sustaining team. We do everything by ourselves. Our current investment team, Eddie Shalem, who maybe you're not familiar with him, but he's one of the biggest investors in Israel, and Gilgadet, who just exited the $1 billion affiliate, our current investment team. So we're now speaking for a seed round, and we have to talk more about it. We are in the right moment to launch this product into the market. We have game-changing technology, and we are the right team to deliver it. And in 3 years from now, it would be inconceivable not to use Triggerhood SDK as it is not using Google Analytics. Thank you.
Cool.
Which time was it?
You got about 24 seconds left. Okay. A couple of things. So as we go through, we're going to talk a little bit more about the presentation style. We are going to jump back into the deck. So there's a lot of this, right? So right around here there's a square which you seem to have stayed in the entire time. Sometimes that's a nervous center, but sometimes people feel weird planting their feet. So the way I get around it is I try to think in terms of a sentence or 2 sentences and then move. And you'll see this when we get on stage. So I actually want to go with a triangle. Right? And I start out here and I'm talking, and I always talk to somebody, whether it's a full sentence or a half sentence. I make eye contact. So first I'm talking to Tal, and then I walk over to my second sentence and I'm talking to Mark, and I'm here for a minute or two. And then I go back to the center and it's me. Okay? So that's the way we have it set up. The monitors are pretty far apart. If you were in a smaller room like this, you could even stay here, you could even refer to the visuals, but I don't think you can do that on stage. Or you could do it with much bigger motions. So it could be like when you bring up the wheelie guy, and you read the case, you could be, oh there, this is Jim, right? Jim, every morning gets up, checks the weather right before he leaves, and then he walks out, and then he opens up a lift and gets his car and walks out the door. You can do very broad gestures like that. But this is going to be distracting. If you think more in terms of bigger, walk over to Tal, talk to him for a sentence, and you walk over to Mark, stop and talk to him for a slide. That will make it seem a little less nervous and a little more purposeful. Okay, so that was a little bit. Okay. Overall, I think it's getting clearer. The story's getting crisper, but we're still not entirely there yet.
Yeah, no, I think it was better. I think it was definitely a step up from where we last were with the opening and everything. So, yeah, I mean, I feel better about it.
If I had more time, I'd probably try the other stuff with it. The past 2 times I tried different types of stories, but then this works best at this point. I just took what was best those decks and
Okay,
bring
that's
it
fine.
back to the
We will
original
never have
story.
enough time. We'll always have to make the best of what we got. So let's roll it back. And if you need design resources, tell us. We will find them for you somewhere. Let's roll it back to the very beginning. This is the beginning? Let's start going through. So I'm going to talk to you about a problem that mobile developers have. You responded, right? He starts, I'm going to talk to you about a problem for mobile developers.
I'm going to make it stronger.
Yeah.
A crisis? I mean,
No, not a crisis. Like, maybe, the blog was big on telling the story. So you have that image of the guy programming, right? Maybe you have a picture and you say, this is, or maybe you, right? You're like, Gil, not Guy, not Gil, I'm just joking. Like, hi, I'm Guy, I'm the CTO, CEO. I don't even know what your title was.
I'm head of product.
I forgot who's who, right?
I do the stuff.
Okay. She said, I'm Guy, the head of product at Triggerhood. I've been a mobile developer for how many years? 11?
10 years.
10 years. You know, I've been a mobile developer for over a decade. Now what I and developers like me are really good at are building the apps. The thing that we struggle with the most is getting people to use them. Right? So we spend money to get our developers. We spend $4 billion to get users to the site, to get users to download our app. And the most frustrating part of it is that 95% of that money goes down the toilet. Only 5% become daily active.
We thought about adding back that image of that crazy developer.
You don't have to. It could just be you.
I think this one looks better because
Yeah.
it didn't feel right. It felt a bit detached.
Yeah. I've been coding apps over a decade. Right?
Yeah, I think that would work better.
I'm really good at it. The thing that I struggle with most, and all the developers I know and I ever spoke with, all struggle with the same thing: getting people to actually download their app and amp it up. Right?
Hold on, this one's probably fine. Well, one important point that Andrew made is that we emphasize. So, talk about the 95% of them change and start with the 95%.
Maybe 5.
Started with the 5%.
Yeah.
Maybe it's already
Maybe it started with 95. I still think you can. I still think they're better.
There are
money
lots of
flushing
pictures
down
of
the
toilet in it, money in a toilet bowl.
We actually got feedback from that SENNA Angel thing that even that felt a bit risky.
This was a bit risque.
Yeah, so I think, like I showed that to
Yeah, we have a word for that.
to the girls,
Log,
and they laughed. So I asked them, do you think we need to?
So here's the thing: don't do anything half-assed. Right? If you're gonna do it, you have to own it. If you're not gonna do it, then don't do it. I wouldn't put like
I feel
a bird in the bowl. Like dollars are fine.
When you search for toilets,
No, just put money in toilets.
I know, but
Right?
I feel comfortable with this one because it's still strong, in my opinion. Like I own it. I think it's
Money down the drain. I like money in toilets.
toilet is like
No.
it has to have the toilet seat.
Has to be the toilet.
You know what?
But like that one down there on the left. You know, that kind of thing.
You're not looking at the phone?
Yeah, I wanted to go.
Either way.
That's
So here,
powerful.
this is very, very simple then.
But anyway,
Take 3 images.
Yeah, we'll do that.
This one where you're looking down, the money's in the toilet, maybe that one. And your entire deck is the page before, there's the 3 pages, right? I'm Guy, blah, 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 I'm raising 4 billion, and then boom. And just show it to people, like, it'll take you 30 seconds each,
That's what I do.
and do it for 4 or 5 people. See which one is better, and then problem solve. So this 1.3 billion is part of the 4 billion.
Guilty or yeah, let's move on. There are very disturbing pictures on the
That is not disturbing at all.
That's one I was okay.
Yeah.
Challenging to search for dirty birds.
Yeah. So is 1.3 and it's B, not B N. I don't.
The 4 billion is a small number, so it's growing 30%, and the 4 billion was 2014. So it's probably something around.
No, but I mean, is 1.3 in addition to the 4 or part of the 4?
We can say now that it's addition to the 4.
Because it was part before and now it's grown enough?
Since yesterday.
You know the number, you know it is,
Dramatic.
it's all estimation, so it's not really so.
So wherever the number is sourced from, it's got to be consistent. So the source, even if it's 2013, and this is part of it? Okay, but the original source, was it 1.3 on top of 4 or 1.3 is part of 4? Where's that from?
We have statistic that 30% goes to retention.
Oh, so 30% of the 4.
Yeah, but
4 billion.
But we'll find a bigger number.
Okay, so what you need to do then is the first number can't be 4 billion, it's gotta be 2.7 billion. First thing we do is we spend $2.7 billion on getting them to our app. And then you know what we do? We spend another $1.3 billion getting them to come back.
We'll find the full figure of the loss. Maybe we find whatever number I'm throwing at it, we find that.
Okay, you gotta you gotta be clear on that. And then you say, and then we put more money, own it, and then we put more money, another $1.3 billion getting them to actually re-engage with that same app. As I said, they buy products, so this is go back. And what do they spend it on? They spend it on services, like the government said. They spend it on services that will help them understand, that help them retain the use of whatever services, not products. Next one. And it tells them things like the open rate, and session length, and usability.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going in the right direction. I mean, for the general usability, I mean, I don't know, that's too vague.
We'll find that out.
Like, I mean, it should be an actual metric like you have there. The other two are good, but general usability doesn't mean anything.
So here's what so the whole idea about limited visibility, and that's where this slide came from. We're not going with that right now with this one. So I think the imagery that you should be going for is open rate and session length, right? But then when you go to yours, you're going to want to show the broader view. And maybe, see if you get the iceberg idea. I kind of like that vision. So find a picture of like a sunny day, clear sea except for the iceberg that's off center. Well, you'll find a big one where it's centered and then you crop it.
Yeah, I need to edit that.
So then you have the little circle. There'll be a nice blue sea, blue skies. I may tell you things like your app open rate and your session length. And you try to tweak those things to, and they'll give you like tools, maybe they'll give you a tool where it says, time push notifications. Set some kind of simple rule. Always set this at 9 a.m. Right?
Well, no, but this isn't about the push.
Oh, don't say that last part. Okay, this is about this part. So you get these, so then spend another $1.3 billion on re-engagement. And use tools like these to figure out what my open rate is and my session, right? And what my average session length is. And hopefully with that data, I can somehow get people to use my damn app. Okay? So, you need a better transition here, right? I think the transition might be, but that only gets me so far. The solution is this, right? It's one line of code. It's the one line of code an app developer like me, you think back, needs to add to their apps to install the Triggerhood SDK. Then keep going. So again, here's where I would go with the same image but now opened up. And now I can see a much wider range of data. I can see outside of just my little app. I can see things about where the user is, what other apps they're using, what kind of sensor data are we talking about other than location?
Any sensor,
I
didn't want to get into more details, yeah.
I was the motion sensor, right? I would list a couple of them all around the outside. But actually I would close with other apps. I can see their location data, I can see their motion. You want as many things as you can say there. You want to give the impression of the richness of additional sources of information. Whether their screen is on or off, right? Where the battery level is, right?
I would say that. I would try adding that to a slide that would look better than just using. So I can say that.
Yeah, so this is if you're using the same thing as the clear C and then you open it up and you bang, and you talk to it, right? And maybe you just need different black words on the image instead of white words. We'll figure that out. And if you need help,
stick out.
Yeah.
Stick out. So maybe you can hit them one by one.
It could go on. You could do a build, or it could all just come out there. We do all those things. Sorry, it's like the outside of it. And then I would end it. And we can even tell you what other apps are being. We can even figure out what other apps are being used on the device. Right? Yeah, that's kind of your show fucking what, right? So now I've got a. So what was your transition to the next one? And the next like
Aggregate, yes.
Okay. So now, with all this additional rich outside of the app data, we can pull together, we can aggregate that into a dashboard that can
Well,
tell.
before you go, like, in terms of the images itself, I was looking, I mean, you could search more, but I think, you know, if you design with this, look here, you know, it's just search fogs before and after. You know, it'd be cool to like, if it was the same, like, to me, like, the same picture, one with the fog, one without the fog, that really gets the message across. And then you can, yeah, so, you know, maybe, I mean, this one's not bad. You know, you see a nice city. It'd be nice if there was a couple that are okay. I mean, if you search enough, you could probably find a good one.
Just, this is what we had, before. We settle on that. Yeah, the metaphor was exactly that. Like there's a road, you don't see where you're going, and now you have.
All right, so let me be sure. So yeah, those are just kind of placeholders.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Everything, you know, everything here can and should be improved.
I'm sorry.
You know, for us, everything here is can and should be improved. Screenshots.
All right.
There. There's an image of an iceberg, off center on both sides. Iceberg, ocean, sunny. And just, you know, it ain't crazy difficult to find. And if you gotta go, I mean, there's tons of them. Like, the nicer it looks out and the calmer everything else looks, the better. This might be better. Like here. Something like this. I mean, this, you don't have to go with the iceberg. This actually doesn't really look a lot like an iceberg, but you get the idea. Anyway, so here you're talking about these dashboards you pull together. You definitely talk to this better, but I think you actually spend too much time on it. So the first time, so let's take a fictional app, a transportation app like a space commuter.
Actually, before you go too far, first of all, so are you going to redo this video? Is that what you're okay. If you're going to redo it, I think you have to go with a better name than Space Commuter. I still think it's just like, it's kind of like a really bad joke.
Taxi magic.
Yeah, there's something that sounds like
maybe Ride Along, right? It's a travel sharing app, Ride Along. Whatever it is, ride with me. Pick something.
What's the opposite of Uber? Oh, that's what Unser was?
I just got it now.
I just got it now also.
So maybe it's Ride, R-Y-D-E, right? Like a ride.
Super.
The tramp would only work in Israel. Yeah. Alright. Ride with us, something like that. Just pick something.
Something that doesn't. First of all, it sounds a little like a game. Also,
it's it's not a spaceship too. Yeah, what Mark said. So you're talking to this a lot better.
before you do it, you can run it by us. You know.
Yeah, before you waste too many cycles on it.
This is almost.
And by the way, if you're already mocking it up, why don't you get rid of some of the other stuff so it comes, and maybe categories filtered to only show transportation.
We thought about it.
Right, so it's like, you know, let's take the fictional app called Ride With Us, right? You get to their dashboard, they filter by other transportation apps they're in competition with, right? And then it shows it at the top, and then you've got right to the point. You can see how they're positioned against all the other apps. You can filter it to look only at the other transportation apps that they use. And look what happens. You see that, by the way, you see several points they're threatened by their customers. I think you meant by their competition. And once you filter it by the transportation, you can see that they're actually behind wind. So maybe they want to spend some more time. And for me, and I don't know if you actually have this for your app or not, it would be good if you had like little up arrows and down arrows to show which way the other apps were trending.
Yeah, there is an app arrow.
Yeah, it's somewhere next to the rank, which is up or down. And you know what? It's okay to fake it because you're still building.
Yeah, we can do it.
Right?
I don't have time to wait for it.
If you don't have time, if what you're saying is you need a design resource, we will give you a design resource.
We code.
Oh, no. For this, you don't need to code it.
I'm saying we don't wait for it.
Got it. So the demo and it doesn't have to be motionless. It doesn't have to be a video. It could be stills if you need to. So the way you tell this now is like this is our. Let's take the example of why Driverless, a fictional transportation app. So it's like then we can aggregate this all into a dashboard. All this disparate data into a dashboard, so that in the case of this fictional example, Ride With Us, they can see how they fare against all the apps that their users are using, or you can filter it just down to other transportation apps like that. And look what they see. Even before that, you see that Lyft is beating them in terms of how much time people use their apps. So maybe they want to spend more time, target more of their acquisition spend against Lyft users. And then the next one, I don't know what this slide does here. Yeah. And by the way, I don't know why you're doing this. You're going to have the labels, show the labels consistently. So what is this, what was your point here that you didn't cover on the last one? Okay. So what would be better here is not 24-hour trends, trends, usage trends, ... filter transportation, and then show a bar chart over time, and then you could say, and oh, by the way, Lyft, it seems like they spiked right here, right? They weren't ahead of us last week. So then we're going to go back and figure out what did Lyft do? Did they just release a new app? Did they just run a promotion? Have they changed their push strategy? So then you want basically the line chart over time. And that could be static. Yeah, you just show it. You just show the line start spike. So and by the way, Lyft wasn't ahead of us last week. Right? Something happens. As we drill down. Okay. So let's keep going.
You have to, but it has to be also consistent. Like the slide before, even if it's a mock-up, it looks real. I know it is real, kind of. But I mean, this doesn't look. This is like this. There's no context of like it's in a dashboard. So this looks. It doesn't look. It's like what? I don't even know what this is. So just make sure that whatever you do for this one.
Consistent header screen, wrap it all in a you can in like a laptop or iPad type frame. So this slide. I mean, does not mean what you think it means. Right, you said the right things. The visual wasn't there. Personal file.
Yeah, I didn't get that. What is personal profile?
Yeah, it's supposed to be more
No. So what did you say? You said that data is not enough, right? So data is not enough. While these are great insights, the data is not enough. On top of all the rich information that help you target their ad spend, we can do much, much more. Right? And things you need to say, like perfectly timed push notifications, set and forget, self-optimizing, right? Or put like behavioral algorithm, self-optimizing, something like that. Those are the words you want to go completely automated at the bottom, right? We can use that same data to do completely perfectly timed push notifications. And what's more, these are set and forget. We do all the work for you, and we will all optimize it. It is a completely optimized solution. And then if you want the visual, to lose a laptop, you just find some guy sitting with his legs up. Clean desk, legs up, nothing else, that would work. You agree?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to have the words on the page have to reinforce it, and they have to be perfectly timed, set and forgets, self, learning out whatever is, self, optimizing, completely automated. So, and then you go, so let me explain what I mean by the perfectly timed. But don't you get here way too soon. You're talking for like 20 seconds, and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here, right? So let me explain to you what I mean when I say a perfectly timed push notification, right? This is Bob. Every morning, Bob gets up, eats his breakfast, checks the New York Times, checks the weather, orders Lyft. Right? We know that. So Bob can get, so now we're going to send Bob a push notification right as he's checking his weather app about Ride With Me's, coupon, or whatever it might be. And for this, it should actually be image of the phone, the weather app, push notifications, scroll down, 20% off Ride With Us. And then I like the better transition. Let me give you, so here's another example, right?
Because we have this example, and then I told you that they ask for another example, but I showed them that.
Yeah. So it's good to get two examples. One is, the reason I like the two of them side by side is one is other app triggered, and this is other data triggered, other sensor data triggered. I still think shocking. I don't know how you know that this person is not having coffee right now. But whatever, that's poetic license. I don't think, But you can say, let's do another example. And I would say, this isn't right. Oh, it's fine. You can say, this is probably the absolute worst time for a, morning news update alert.
Or a friend request.
Or a friend request, right? And maybe you put like, so-and-so just joined Twitter, right? You go forward, but that, you say Bob, so who's Jill, right? Jill does not, this is the absolute worst time to send Jill a push notification. But fast forward, a half hour, she's done, she's showered, she's sitting down to a coffee. Now is the right time. And here you can get away with not having the app, but I still think it should be
I think
other
it's
side of the
just
screen.
like the phone, it's like the push notification.
It doesn't have to be full screen, it could be just sticking up on the bottom. Yeah, that would actually be good. You could actually just even have the phone like sticking up over here, and you just show the top part. Okay? Okay. Let's roll it forward. Okay, so 13 apps, that's good. Missing 100 million users. You say it, you gotta have it on the screen, right? We talked about this one, this is a quick fix. 300% push to open rate. Just start up again. A real price cup, please. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, we've talked about how to make this slide a little more visually interesting, but I think you talked to it very nicely.
This one I wouldn't call it the investment team.
Saying exactly what I picked up on.
Yeah, because it almost sounds like are they your advisors?
Yeah.
I would just say investors.
And we have great investors. Or even if you just say, you just go to the next one. And, Eddie Shoaib runs the largest, one of the largest funds in Israel. He's here today. He's also a very active angel investor, both of whom we're proud to call investors in our company. So I would lose this slide. I know I told you to put it in there, but then I stand and corrected everyone else. That's like the generic slide everyone claims. Great team. So instead, I would just skip right to But what's next is the wrong slide, but your vision, right? I mean, and I like what the visions. I'm not sure what the visual. Maybe you actually say maybe it's an image of Google Analytics. I don't know. Maybe it's Google Analytics. When did Google Analytics roll out? Is that late? So it might be 2006 Google Analytics, 2015 Triggerhood. The vision is that it would be as unimaginable to launch an app without Triggerhood as it would be as to not have Google Analytics. I would call that vision. It's not what's next. And then the last slide, you have your contact info. This is where I would talk to the rounder. And we're currently raising a round. If you would like to join Gil and Eddie in investing in Triggerhood, please come by our page later or send us.
It's something that we discussed with Guy. Why don't we think that we should put we are now raising instead of 1 million?
So this was the logic. We went back and forth on it. I've seen it both ways and down the ways. And generally, you want to, number one, you want all the teams to be consistent. Either they all have it if they're raising, or if they all just talk to it, they don't have it. And with David and Mike, and to a lesser extent, Steve, I don't think Steve cares one way or the other. All said, like, I see it all the time. They're all raising around, right? So why waste a visual on something that everyone's doing?
Plus it creates a weird kind of.
The next analysis is what I want to understand.
Yeah, no, it just creates a weird kind of comparison between the two. First of all, like, so it's implied, like, even though it's early and that's why the race, like, they're only racing 300, they're racing 1 million. So that going to be really lame.
Or whatever it might be.
That's one thing. The other thing is that it does, I mean, this is a pro and a con. The question is, do you want to have someone decide they're not interested because, like, let's say you were racing 300, someone who wants to put in 1 million sees that as, oh, well, I really, this is really interesting, but now I don't, now they're
Yeah, I don't
too small.
write this small.
I mean, you'd rather have them at least come and meet you first, and then you have that conversation.
Yeah. So that's the logic behind it. And I personally lean to leaving it in, but there's almost no downside to not having it. And I see both sides of the argument.
You say they already know.
Yeah, they all know everyone's raising, pretty much. Okay. Guy, I'm not kidding. If you want a designer, we've got 2 of them. I will give you one of them.
At this point, it takes longer to work with the design.
No. Just print it out on paper, like this. You draw it on a piece of paper. And you can say, I want 4 examples of visuals that do this, and they will hunt down the images.
I'm working with a heavy art here mostly. With
Get a designer.
it's worth picking up images, like the design.
So get someone to actually be a designer who has an eye for it.
Like they send you 4 or 5 pictures, they want that, so you do. It's like searching for pictures.
I know you spend the 15 minutes to sit down with someone who knows what they're doing.
Like honestly, I think the guys, like I haven't worked with the other guy, I worked with them.
Just try it once.
I'll try it once.
No, I'm walking you over. Which one do you want? Do you want Dan? Okay, and wrong one, sorry. And it's my pleasure to introduce SENNA.
Hi everyone, my name is Adrian Grant, I'm the founder of SENNA, and we're here today to talk about the largest untapped opportunity in the new media landscape. Before we get started, quick show of hands. How many folks here are familiar with the term authenticity? Okay, not that many of you. Alright, fair enough. What's interesting is that it's a term that's starting to show up in the brand messaging for brands ranging from JetBlue to Taco Bell to IHOP. Why? They're all trying to chase after the elusive millennial demographic. Specifically, the 43% of which were African American and Latino. Let that sink in for a bit. Over a third of millennials are minority. This is the most racially diverse generation of all time. And you can see this in that they represent the majority of the population under the age of 18 and represent over $90 billion in spending. Now, so though you probably have not heard on Fleet, you've definitely heard of other terms this audience brought to the mainstream, given that they are driving towards buying pop culture. Here's a few examples. You're probably familiar with twerking, or YOLO, or any other slew of terms that they've brought to the forefront given the dynamic nature of this audience. What's interesting though is despite their size and their spending power, brands trying to reach them, there is no central destination for this content. This doesn't exist. Right now they exist as a hashtag, they organize a hashtag on Twitter, where they're posting on a YouTube video, and there is no central destination for them. And to the traditional media companies, they just don't get it. They're operating under a model of let's create listicles and other content that we think is going to go viral, and let's force feed it down millennials' throats. And that doesn't make any sense. This is the selfie generation. This is the audience that creates tons of content that goes viral and trends on their own. And that's where SENNA comes in. SENNA is the first destination for urban millennials and other enthusiasts in hip-hop culture. Our vision is to be as synonymous with this demographic as ESPN is to sports. We want to bring this culture everywhere there's an internet connection. It's a very grand vision, so stay with me for a moment here. What we aim to do is to allow these users to distribute their content not just through our platform, but have it distributed to a variety of web, mobile, and connected devices. It's a very grand vision, but to build a new media company in 2015, this is how it has to be done. Now, very grand vision, how can we do it? Fortunately for us, our team has over a decade experience in building platforms catered to this demographic. We've scaled architecture at BET. We've leveraged this demographic with successful sales partnerships with Amazon, Hulu, Google, and we've also crafted campaigns to build communities at Diageo and Pepsi, catering towards this very same audience. So given the dynamic nature of this audience and their needs, our MVP is a mobile-first application for iOS and Android that we're proud to announce it launches today. It does three things extraordinarily well. One, making it easy to discover trending content amongst this audience. Two, in addition to having a feed, you have a curated section where we pinpoint here's what's hot amongst the community. And three, of course, enabling folks to connect and socialize with other millennials. But the real proof is in the pudding. Though today we just launched, we've already onboarded up to 50 ambassadors. We're going to evangelize our product to their over 3 million followers across other social networks. What's slated for us in the fall is we're going to be doing a much larger public beta, in addition to kicking off our fundraising conversation. So, if you're an investor interested in tapping into the next biggest opportunity in the new media landscape, or you want to know the definition for Fleet, we'd love to have a conversation. Thank you.
Cool, we had about a minute left. It needs to be a little slower, but you'll do well on it. There's no penalty for for ending early. Okay, cool. It's definitely getting tighter. I like the intro of largest untapped market. It's great. You want to go through slide by slide?
Yeah. I mean, the story is, the flow is pretty good. I felt like the setup was a little long. I felt.
Really?
Yeah.
There's one part where it rambled a little bit right before the twerking part.
The stats part, there was a lot. It's not
I could probably lose this middle one.
Yeah, he said 43%, so you probably lose that part.
oh,
You say 43% above, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I could probably lose this one. Because
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
already
meant.
about this. Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Let's go through from the top and I think we'll capture it all.
Okay.
Sorry, BuzzFeed for urban culture, that's great. You gotta be kind of consistent urban or hip hop, right? Or if you say urban, it's more concise in the space, then let's say urban or hip hop, just make that a single.
I'm gonna stick with urban, because that way it's just tighter.
What do you think? I mean, we had this whole debate.
Yeah, I thought we wanted to go with hip hop.
There you go.
I keep going back and forth, because I feel like, and this is one of the, thank you for,
So, okay, for people who just recently understood, what on fleek means, right? What is the distinction between urban and hip hop?
it's semantics.
So, when you hear urban, can you show me two pictures and say, that's urban, not hip hop?
No, I
Not
don't think
really.
Well, I don't know, I mean,
it's marketing stuff, so it's not.
Yeah, the thing though is I think that hip hop, I mean, you're not, I know there's a question on this, I mean, you're not just targeting minorities, right?
No.
Right, so to me, I mean, at least historically, urban, was in the strong music business, urban was the euphemism for African for black. Really.
Yeah.
African, they used to call it black music, and then they thought it would sound better to say urban. But to me, hip hop is more racially diverse. I think to me that has a much more racially diverse.
Urban has like
connotation.
inner city overtone.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not talking, it's not, I would use hip hop, but I'm
And people
the
in the
least
suburbs
qualified.
will still be part of hip hop culture, and maybe they
Yeah.
part of urban culture, but it doesn't feel.
Yeah, most of them are like boring suburban kids.
Right.
That's
I think
the
they would-
majority consumers
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, that's why I think hip hop is a better phrase.
Yeah.
This-
So,
yeah.
so I would do that, and then there's another point where so largest on tap, that's great, but I would just do hip hop over urban. But I wanted to make sure it wasn't just me as an ignorant saying that.
I think hip
Okay,
hop is better.
so let's roll it forward. So this part was good, keep going. What I think would make this more effective is, I like the way you had it as the overlay, but you said, JetBlue, and then you said like IHOP and Taco Bell. It would be cool if that flipped to the zooms on those.
Yeah, or just built on, you have the JetBlue and you plop the Taco Bell on top of it.
Well, it might get a little too crazy busy. If you
Well,
didn't have the
display-
background,
yeah.
there was no background, it was just the one, and then two, and then three,
Yeah.
and four, that might work. If you're gonna do it as a light box on top of a background, I would just
Gotcha.
split them.
I think I like the formal one, because I think I'll name, JetBlue, Taco Bell, CoverGirl, and then you'll see more, I won't reflect it, but you'll see that.
And then we'll just see a whole bunch of
You'll
logos
just see
one
a
after
bunch
the
of-
other, I think that's probably the better way to do it.
So, question, I know some people here are showing videos, but I thought we were supposed to send a PDF for demo day.
PowerPoint.
Okay, so.
Double check with Mike, but it's the PowerPoint.
Okay, so we can do
Videos will work,
animations.
yeah, can do that. Okay, let's keep going. That's fine, you go use that.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose this one.
I think you wanna throw something out there, and it's not just black and Latino, hip hop. Hip hop is even broader than that.
I gotta nail that on this screen.
Well, I think you can before, right? So he goes, what do you present when you're black and Latino? And it's not just, black and Latino.
Yeah, this
All
culture-
told, this hip hop culture.
Yeah.
It fuels $90 billion worth of spending across all
Yeah, racial demographics,
demographics
ages,
everywhere.
yeah.
All, not a lot of 90-year-old grandmas today, but certainly across.
Yeah, I love that,
Okay.
Love it.
Okay, and then like you say something for like 20 seconds before when this, I don't know when this comes up, but before you get to the point where you say twerking, whatever that was, just forget that, right?
I said, okay, I'll give you an example.
No, it was a lot more.
No, I was saying, you probably heard other terms that they brought to the mainstream, given as
And then there was like something like 20 minutes, what the hell's going on here? I think you just go in there, 90 billion spans, and while you haven't heard of, you may not have heard of On Fleek yet, you have heard of twerking,
yes.
and YOLO, and many of these other terms have already gone mainstream.
Yep.
Okay, so you got to nail the timing, and I think you got to do it quick. It's got to be quick. There's a lot of like meandering between the two. Okay. Go down. So we talked about not using a house for this. I don't have notes from last time.
I actually didn't find it.
I don't remember like what it was that you could take.
Yeah, I think I said maybe using, there wasn't a hashtag, but something that would showcase that there wasn't.
Yeah.
It was like a Twitter stream, it was just like a hashtag.
I think it was you were also saying that like the hashtag does not equal a community, right? Something like this, like
Oh,
community.
no, we didn't say that before. I like that I would've, yeah, that's, I may have said that too. It means you taking something I've already said. I'm not gonna give you props for that. But,
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah, there's gonna be something missing here. There's still something missing. Now, you're saying this is on Main Street, but there's no real home for it. Let's try something else, right? Let's say you're twerking and yellows, these terms, so everything that, so in many ways, what is hip hop in now, like on fleek, in 6 months, very well, maybe mainstream. Now, when you think about this community, right, or this when you think about the hip hop culture, some of these names may come to mind, right? Or some of these names may come to mind, but these all having, I don't know if BuzzFeed belongs there. I don't know if College Humor belongs there.
Yeah. I'll make this different point.
Complex, Vice, I'm going to take your word on Bossip. I don't know about Media Takeout or ADD, all deaf digital, whatever, I don't know, but that sounds like it could be BuzzFeed and College Humor, no hip hop.
Yep.
But you might not need it. You should really only be using the ones that like most people have heard of. So BET, Vice, maybe Complex, maybe World Star, what the hell do I know, right? But you might see a couple of names come to you. Don't want to be too proud of it, a zillion people. Right? When you think about hip hop culture, a couple of names come to mind. But what all these incumbents share is that they're all very old school, top-down, editorially driven publications.
Yep.
I would take out the headline we have there. And comments going.
You said you would take it out, is that what you said?
Yeah, because I think the way Andrew just said it is better. It's not really like they're, because some of these things are, BET is a big success. It's not like, when you say they don't get it, they happen to be a multi-billion-dollar company.
it's part of the
So it's not like they get something, they're doing something right.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a little bit strong to say they don't get it. I think to say that it's top down or whatever, that to me is,
And you might say, the traditional media might get a headline, or traditional hip hop media.
Sorry, I just gotta grab my phone, look at somebody's waiting to, I'll be right back,
Oh look, 35 new messages. On the plus side, Slack seems to calm down a bit. So like yesterday I only had a handful of Slacks, but now I have,
Sorry about that.
95 new messages. Okay. So we take that out. The next one, you don't have to worry about putting the apostrophe in don't, because you're going to change that to like.
We're gonna move the title altogether and just communicate.
Yeah, you could call it traditional hip hop media. That's like, a couple of names come to mind. When we're thinking about culture, a couple of names come to mind. But what they all share, what they all have in common is they are old school, traditional, top-down, editorial-driven content.
Yep. The next up, which doesn't make any sense given that this is the selfie generation.
It's not even just that. User-generated content it's not even the newest trend, right?
But the point for illustrate here is that they're following an old model and trying to slap it onto a demographic that doesn't want that or need it.
Yeah, and you can say like the old generation, and you can say there are, I mean, there is there is an astounding amount of user-generated content all around hip-hop culture that simply doesn't have a home. And then maybe that's where you use the slot, right?
Wait a second, I thought we were going to
So look, pull that all the way down to after the Pope. No, pull the house down to.
Oh, pull the house down to after the point.
Yeah. So it's like, twerking, blah, blah, blah. When you think about hip hop culture, a couple of names come to mind, but they all come from old school, which is odd, or which completely ignores whatever the transition is. The fact that this is this is the selfie generation. It's all about user-generated content, and there is an immense amount of user-generated content, hip-hop culture content out there. The problem is there is no home for it.
You can go back. Slide.
Go back to here?
Yeah, is it a problem that none of those guys are, they're all white bread?
Potentially.
Yeah, so that's what it's not like your audience.
Yeah, it's not totally in the line with the verse I'm saying. Yeah, so maybe I can find a better graphic.
Like the guy with like the pocket thing here, he's not hip hop.
No. I mean, I'm worried that he looks Mormon. What's he doing with, in the Catholic Church?
This is in a church.
Yeah, so I know what you're trying to do with this, maybe not the right visual.
But it'd be better to do like, I don't know, some cool hip hop artists. That same kind of idea, like a selfie, but with someone who's actually cool.
And maybe I have another slide where you got like you had one
Like
where you had a whole bunch
like
of
JC with like that kind of
Yeah, there's
selfie.
definitely pictures of that him with a band taking the pictures.
Yeah, that kind of
Exactly.
And then, then it might be like there's no home for it, right? And then you could then you might use the hashtag, does not equal community, right? You kind of use that here, until now. Right? And SENNA is that home.
Got it. It's got to be precise.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yes. Yes, sir. Ready.
Okay. SENNA is at home. Next slide. SENNA is at home. Okay, so let's start on grand vision, right? Again, hip hop culture. It's not sports is a topic. Millennials are people. Right? Hip hop. It's just hip hop. That's fine.
Yep.
So I understand the grand vision here, and it is a big one, is that what ESPN is. So when you think of sports, you think of ESPN. You can do that as a question, right? You plant people that have to yell it out, right? ESPN, right? The grand vision is going to be two sides. The grand vision is when I say hip hop, in 3 years, your answer is going to be SENNA. Next slide. You can ask the question, find answers more.
But
Go ahead.
But as I say, the whole thing with the vision, it seems a little, I don't want to say expensive, but you don't have to say like, work with me here or whatever. You have to phrases like that.
Yeah.
Just be more confident about it. So it's not really, I'm going to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Not like,
Get with the program.
Work with me. I know you don't believe me, but that's kind of what it sounded like.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, the sound feed is noted.
Okay. So on the next one, like, the medium is not the message, right? This doesn't mean anything, right? I'm gonna get video on demand. It doesn't mean anything. What matters is you're gonna be the ESPN for hip hop culture,
Yeah.
right? So let's just say BuzzFeed for hip hop culture. In the beginning, probably be consistent about that. In fact, if you put it at the beginning and you don't say it, then even more people are likely to say ESPN later. And so this one just goes. By the way, you talk to the team very well. Then you mumbled something about an MVP mobile today.
Yeah.
Just say, don't understate. Just say, we're proud to announce that we just launched SENNA.
What I struggle with is that these screenshots make, I think we talked about before, it seems like this is the Facebook for hip hop.
No, go back. Let's go through it again. Let's go. Just so number one, it's a single point where you can go and discover what's trending in hip hop culture. Right?
Yeah.
You're talking to me a single place we can discover what's trending in hip hop culture. The next one, and we even and it's curated. We select the key influencers to feature within SENNA. We make it easy for you. We curate the most influential bloggers or bloggers in the hip hop world.
Sorry, I gotta open the door for somebody real quick.
Hold on, I'll send a Arthur. Can we say what we would?
Conrad. It's Conrad.
Conrad, when we work, we bring it.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I was trying to.
And then,
Back.
keep going.
Yeah, curated to make it
Yeah, and we make it easier. We curate it. We get the best influencers. And when you find someone whose taste you share, you can connect with them. I would bigger follow button, right?
Yep. Noted. Yeah, I haven't incorporated that either.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and don't call it an MVP. If you're gonna call it anything, call it a public beta. MVP, this applies, this is
Yeah.
too early.
Or you just launched.
You don't say anything, you just launch.
Noted. Okay. Let's keep going. I'm not sure what the background image is all about.
Supposed to be representative. People are evangelists.
Are these like the actual ones?
No, I gotta swap them. Some of them are, some of them are not.
I'm pretty sure Michelangelo was in one of yours. Where's that Donatello?
Yeah, that's still a vlogger.
No, there's still, he's in front of.
You do that Comic-Con and people dress up in the turtle characters.
Yeah, I mean, I would,
Hey, Conrad, sorry, just give me like 5 minutes. You can hang tight.
maybe
Here's the
more,
pitch.
I don't know, there's a better visual here. It might be some of the, photos of the actual guy. It doesn't have to be, it could be from their Twitter profile or from their Facebook page or Instagram page.
Yeah, I like the way you did it, like the collage, but, and I guess if they are the real people, that's fine, but, my eye was drawn right to the
dude in the top corner?
turtle.
Oh, the Ninja
And
Turtle.
then I'm like,
Oh,
and
what
Kid
is
Fury.
this?
That's where I am.
So, I would just use these are real people, so.
Yeah.
Even though even though a lot of people won't know them, they look like people like, if I were cool, I would know who they were.
That's
And maybe it's even like their profile, the shot might be their profile within their Twitter, a 15.5K follower.
Right, maybe even cut out the thing and shows
Which
them
was
followers.
Yeah.
like that, yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's roll it forward.
This needs to get polished up.
Yeah, so it is or will be on demo day available in both the Android and App Store.
Definitely Android. Apple, we resubmitted again yesterday, so.
Okay.
Probably
So-
not.
So we'll see what happens, but your
It's
app
already
is-
available live on Android. Like
Yeah, our app is already out on Android, and maybe you can say, and both Apple and ideally both the Play and App stores. And if you can't say it's already available in the Play Store, the iPhone app should be available any day now. It was submitted a week ago, it should be available any day now. Please download the app, and then we're just going to talk about what we're currently raising. Well, go to the next slide, I would say. So if you, I think you talked to this very effectively. If you are, you're interested in getting it. If you are an investor interested in getting in one of the last wide open media property, wide open spaces in the media landscape today, please come over and talk to me after the presentation or contact me at founders@sennatv.com.
Yeah, and I like the way you wove in the fleet.
I think Andrew.
Oh, and the on-fleet part also.
Yeah, the on-fleet part. Yeah, I think that's.
And then, and by the way, I'll explain to you. I'll tell you what on-fleet.
I'll give you credit. That's all I need. Was I do?
I'm gonna take credit for this.
I think we both said. I have no problem sharing first, but that one I was on too. We did have another like double hit. That was
All right,
fun.
one more minute, man.
No, no, we're good. That's all we got.
Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, thank you so much.
No worries.
Okay.